Good morning class, Sai Ram. Today we are going to learn our chapter number 4, which is moving charge and magnetism. In this chapter only we will learn magnetic effect of current. That is our first portion. In this portion the topic that will be covered are magnetic effect of current, Oersted experiment, then Ampere's swimming law or rule, then Maxwell's corkscrew rule. After that we will learn right hand thumb rule, and then Biot-Savart law. After that we have topic number 6, that is magnetic field due to infinitely long straight current carrying conductor, or magnetic field due to a circular loop carrying some current. And last topic is magnetic field due to a solenoid. All these topics comes under magnetic effect of current. So we will start with our first slide. Here first topic is magnetic effect of current. Okay. So first we will understand what is it. An electric current, that is flow of electric charge, produces magnetic effect in the space around the conductor called strength of magnetic field, or simply magnetic field. And one more thing we have, that is Oersted experiment. What was that experiment? One cell was given, or one cell was connected in this way, and one resistor was connected in series with this cell, and then some amount of current flows, like capital I, you can see some amount of current flows in this manner. Okay, so what we observed, that this magnetic needle which is kept near to the wire N2S, this needle deflects, or we can say when the current was allowed to flow through a wire placed parallel to the axis of a magnetic needle kept directly below the wire, the needle was found to be deflect from its normal position. So these were the observation observed by the scientist Oersted, and he observed that whenever say we have current in any particular wire, then this wire creates some amount of or some kind of magnetic field around it. Okay, and how can be observed that magnetic field exists? If we brought any magnetic needle or say compass near to it, that magnetic needle will deflect. So we can say that there is some magnetic field near a current carrying wire. More than that, next observation was when current was reversed through the wire, the needle was found to deflect in the opposite direction to the earlier case. If we change the direction of current, suppose we have reversed the polarity, then we have seen that this magnetic needle deflects in opposite direction. So deflection of magnetic needle shows that there is some magnetic field. Then next we have rules to determine the direction of magnetic field. How we will determine it? So here we have Ampere's swimming rule, or it is also called snow rule. According to this, you have to imagine some situation. What is it? Imagine that a man who swims in the direction of current from south to north, facing a magnetic needle kept under him such that current enters his feet, then the north pole of the needle will deflect towards his left hand, that is toward west. Suppose if your current is flowing in this direction, as you can see this is direction of current, or direction of you can say in direction where man swims. Okay, in that direction your current is flowing, then to the west of this man, means here this needle will deflect towards west, or you can say in this direction. We can understand this rule by another method, that is called Maxwell's corkscrew rule, or right hand screw rule. So if the forward motion of an imaginary right-handed screw is in the direction of the current through a linear conductor, then The direction of rotation of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic lines of force. So suppose here in this direction your current is flowing, as you can see. Okay, so if current is flowing in this direction, then you can see this is the direction of rotation of screw. Okay, so this direction will represent your direction of magnetic field. Suppose if current is flowing in opposite direction, then direction of magnetic field will be opposite, that is according to the direction of rotation of screw. Next we have right hand thumb rule, or it is called curl rule. How we determine with this rule? If a current carrying conductor is imagined to be held in the right hand such that the thumb points in the direction of current, then the tips of the fingers encircling the conductor will give the direction of the magnetic field, magnetic line of forces. Suppose your current is flowing in this direction, as you can see here, in this direction your current is flowing, then you have to represent this direction of current with the help of your thumb. Okay, then direction of curl finger, this direction, you can say this one, this direction will represent your magnetic field. So in direction of current you have to represent, you have to show your thumb, then your magnetic field will be according to this direction. Then we have Biot-Savart law. The strength of magnetic field dB due to a small current carrying element dl carrying some current L at a point P distant r from the element is directly proportional to I dl and sine theta, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance r square, where theta is the angle between dl and r. Now try to understand this definition. What is Biot-Savart law? Suppose some amount of current is flowing in this direction, say this is your wire, and along this wire your current I is flowing. Okay, this is your current I. Then suppose this is the small element of this wire, which is dl. Okay, and from this wire at an angle theta we have one point capital P. At this point P we want to calculate our magnetic field. Then question is that how we will calculate it. Then for this rule is given that amount of magnetic field is directly proportional to the current, that is dB is directly proportional to the amount of current flowing in this element of wire. And second thing is dV is directly proportional to length of the wire, this length. Suppose this length is dl, then dB is proportional to dl. Third is dB is proportional to sine theta. Okay, if this angle is theta, then its sine, we take its sine, and dB is proportional to sine theta. And fourth one is dB is proportional to 1 by r square, where r is this much length. Okay, so we can conclude that by joining all four equations like 1, 2, 3 and 4, we can say that dB is proportional to I dl sine theta upon r square, or dB equal to mu naught upon 4 pi, this is proportionality constant, I dl sine theta upon r square. This law is called Biot-Savart law. Next we have Biot-Savart law in vector form. In vector form we can say that dB equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl cross r upon r cube. Remember, this is not a square, it is cube. If you will solve this, you will get dB equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl r sine theta whole upon r square, or you can say actually this is r cube, this is in vector form. Then this r to r cube will be cancelled out r square times, and we will get mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sine theta upon r square. So this was the formula given in previous slide, that is mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sine theta upon r square. Here you have to remember that value of mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. This is unit of mu naught. Okay, because unit of magnetic field is called Tesla, 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 or in short form we write it only T. Okay, so from here you can calculate unit of mu naught also. Okay, that will come out in this form. So direction of dB is same as that of dl cross r. This is vector dl and vector r. We can find out direction of dV from here also. Like whenever you write A equal to B cross C, then direction of A is direction of B cross C. You have to apply cross product over here. So one dot is represented for you can say if it is emerging out, means this dot represents something is coming out of plane of paper, and cross means something is entering into the plane of paper. Current element is a vector quantity whose magnitude is the vector product of the current and the length of the small element having the direction of the flow of current. Okay, this is saying that if this dl is what, this will be treated as, this length will be treated as vector quantity. Then we have magnetic field due to a straight wire carrying some current. Now suppose you have some straight wire and some amount of current I is flowing into it, and you want to calculate magnetic field at the point P. Okay, then suppose this length we have considered one small element, and this element has length dl, and this length is at an angle theta from this point P. Then we know that by Biot-Savart law this dB will become mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square, where your sin theta is what, that is a by r. Here you can understand in diagram, suppose this length is small a and this angle I am saying this angle is phi. Okay, sin theta is this perpendicular upon this hypotenuse. This is your base side. In this triangle you have to observe the things, and this value will be equal to cos phi also, because cos phi is base upon hypotenuse. From here you can calculate that r will be a upon cos phi, because if you will utilize this relation you will get r equal to a by cos phi, or you can say tan phi equal to, and this length we have considered L, so your tan phi will be L upon a, that is perpendicular. In this triangle you can see this is theta, or this is angle phi, and the side in front of angle is called perpendicular, and this is your base. So tan phi will be this L upon a, or from here you can write L equal to a tan phi. If you will differentiate this equation you will get dl on the LHS side, and on the RHS side you will get a, and differentiation of tan theta, that is sec square theta and d theta. So you will write here sec square theta or sec square phi d phi. Now if you will substitute the value of r dl in dB in this expression of dB, you have to replace r as well as you have to replace L or dl you can say. Then you will get dB equal to mu naught upon 4 pi this I cos phi. From here you can understand this was I dl sin theta, so I am replacing dl equal to a sec square phi d phi over here. Okay, and dB also, this r also given by a upon cos phi. If you will solve this you will get mu naught upon 4 pi I cos phi d phi upon a. Now we have to calculate magnetic field due to the whole conductor. Okay, for that we have to integrate this, because your whole wire, this whole wire will be made up of such small element. So you have to add all the integral term. So limit will be minus phi 1 to phi 2. Why we are taking minus phi 1? Because this is in anti-clockwise direction and this phi 2 is in clockwise direction. We have considered that clockwise angles are positive 1. Okay, so integration of dv will be minus phi 1 to phi 2 v naught upon 4 pi I cos phi d phi upon a. Now you know that differentiation or integration of cos phi is that is sin phi, and limit of sin phi is from minus phi 1 to phi 2. So you will use upper limit minus lower limit, that minus to minus will be cancelled out and we will get sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. So this is our final expression. Here you can see this b will become mu naught I upon 4 pi I into sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. Then we have one case, if the straight wire is infinitely long. In that case you know that phi 1 and phi 2 both are 90 degree. Like this phi 1, you can understand saying that this phi 2 and this phi 1 both will become 90 degree. As we solve this expression in case of electric field, the same kind of derivation we have here. Here also we will get mu naught I upon 2 pi a. Okay, so this is all for today. Next remaining topic we will cover in our upcoming lecture. Okay, thank you.